Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, we learned how to write the code for any OpenAI API call, and we'll move to the next part today. We also built a social media post generator in the previous session using code, and we'll build a better project today. That is Adidas ad generator, right? Ad generator for a shoe brand will do all those things using just Gen AI. So let's see how we can do that. So we'll generate all the ad content like text, image, and audio using OpenAI APIs, and then we'll merge them using Canva or MoviePy to generate a video for that. Okay. So, and if you're new to this channel, I'll quickly tell you this is part of my GenAI and RAG series from scratch, where I'm going to cover everything from OpenAI API to RAG to AI agents, everything from scratch to production level. We'll also build a lot of projects in this series. So make sure you subscribe the channel and follow the series. Yeah, I think we can start the session now. So let's see. So we have to generate these content for us. How are we going to start that? So let's see. I'll open ChatGPT first, and I will take help from ChatGPT because if you remember, I'll start with a new file. We all know that the first few lines are going to be same. We need to install OpenAI library, and then I need to set up the API key I need to read the API key from .env file, and I need to set it here. Once we are done with these two steps, now the next step is to call OpenAI API. But the first thing is I need to plan the system message, right? I need to plan what all I need to send in the system message. How can I do that? I can do that easily I will use ChatGPT, or I can do all those things in the playground. You can see the first video to find out how to use playground to prototype this. But today I will show you how I can do that using ChatGPT as well. I will use ChatGPT to generate a good system message for me. So I'll take ChatGPT help only to generate a good system message. So it gave me a system message. I'll use that in our code. We already discussed the basics of this code in the previous session where we discussed how to start with it. Okay, so we saw how to pass system message, what is system message and user message and everything. Now we'll pass the whole thing, like we'll do that into the input format, and we'll pass it to GPT 4.1 model, and we'll keep the temperature as high, and we'll just call the API. So this is the ad content, which is too small right now. So now I'll just update the prompt also a little bit. I have again added more prompt to explain that, okay, this is for like this ad content is going to be passed to a TTS to generate a video ad later. So I will ask it to update the system message accordingly. So it will do that. See, yeah, it has now generated a much better system message. So I will use that. So this is how we do when we are building an actual application. We actually fine tune it by trying it multiple times. So now we'll try it again. See, now it gave me a much better message, like hit the ground running with Adidas Ignite, this, and it gave me the whole content, right? So now what I want is I will also add 30 to 60 word. No, I will add 300 to 400 words. I want a bigger ad. So it generated all this for me. Now I need to convert this to audio. How will I do that? So if you remember in the previous session, we discussed how to convert any text to audio. So now this time, what we have to do is we have to convert this text to audio. How will we do that? Just we'll replace this input text with the response.output text. But this is what we have received. And now I'll pass it to the model, and I will this time save it abidas.mp3, abidas.mp3, right? And I will just call the model. So it will start generating the audio also for me. And I will push all this code to my GitHub. So you can, if you want to take a look at the code, you can do it from there. And if you want to write it yourself, you can follow this video, or maybe you can look at the docs on how to do that. So the ad is ready. I'll quickly play it.
What if you laced up and every street felt like a class?
See, audio is ready.
What if energy wasn't some?
And now the next step is to generate some images for our ad. Okay. For that also, if you remember in the previous session, we generated a simple image using this. Okay. So this time what I will need to do is I need to generate multiple images. Okay. So I will just use the same thing. So now I have to generate an image. So I will use the same code that we discussed in the OpenAI API basics in the previous session. If you have not seen that video, make sure you go back and watch that video first. So we'll use the same script, but the same prompt will not work, right? And the same prompt will almost generate the same image every time, right? So what we can simply do is I can ask ChatGPT only. I also want to, okay, so it will write good prompts. So we'll see. So it gave me 10 beautiful prompts for me for the ad. Now what we need to do is we need to run those prompts one by one, right? And what I need to do is for prompt in prompts, I'll just do this, right? But I need to copy the whole thing from here and then I'll need to paste it here. So what I will simply do is I will just pass this whole thing to ChatGPT and I'll ask it, I need to do some update also in this code. Can you update? Yeah, so I added a new prompt that I want all these 10 prompts to come in this list. And also here we were just printing the URL. I don't want to print the URL. I want to save it into add images folder. Okay. So I'll ask ChatGPT to update the code. So see, it will update the code and it will share that to me. Let's see. So it wrote all the prompts one by one. It created a output directory. Okay. And then it is calling one by one all the prompts with the same to the same model, and then it gave me the whole code required. So this is how we have to write. And if you are getting any issues in this, make sure you go to their official docs because things keep on changing. So make sure you do that if you are facing any issues. So we'll do the same thing. What we are doing step by step, we called OpenAI API key, okay, and then we are creating the add images folder, okay, and then we have these 10 prompts in our hand. We'll pass those one by one to the images.generate method, which will generate those 10 images for us, and which gives us the URL. So what we'll do is we'll call a request.get to the URL content. So we'll get the image data and we'll save it into this file. We are also using a request library here. I can do that there as well, but I will do it here. Now, when the library is installed, I'll quickly run this code again. See, it has created an add images folder, right, which is empty right now. So it is doing its job behind the scene. So it has saved the first image. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, so this is the first image. Okay. So it will generate 10 such images. I'm using an old model, but you can use the latest one or the best one to get better images. I'm just showing you an example. So you can see that it has generated all the images, like it has generated saved image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've stopped it in between, otherwise it will keep on generating all the images. So, and you can find all the images saved here. So it has generated some images, like these are just futuristic random things, not related to a brand, but if you'll use latest model with good prompt, you will be able to generate much better images, right? So now the next thing is once we have all the images in our hand, what else do we need to generate an ad? We have an audio, we have some images, we just need to convert that to a video. How to do that? There is a library called MoviePy in Python using which you can do that. I have not covered this in this video, MoviePy in this video, because the setup is little messy. You need to watch a different video to set that up in your device. And I will leave this on you people to try it out using MoviePy. Just merge those video and audio together to merge those images and audio together to complete your video. Or else you can just use tools like Canva, where I will just use it to upload the files So these are the images. Sorry, I'll go to the folder where I have the file. So I'll import all these images. I'll also import the MP3, and that's it. Once I have the MP3 with me and I have the images with me, I can just create a video using any tool like Canva. And now you can generate the video like this.
What if you laced up and every street felt like a cloud? What if every stride gave you back more? What if energy?
So this was a very simple project that you can create using just OpenAI, where we have generated the ad content using OpenAI API, and we have generated the images using OpenAI API, and then there the whole audio using OpenAI API, and then we have merged it using Canva to convert it to a video. You can also do the same using MoviePy library. I'll not cover that in this video, but yeah, that was all for this session. And this completes the whole OpenAI API module that we were about to cover in this series, where we have covered the API fundamentals, the platform walkthrough, and then we have also written the code for the OpenAI API using Python. In and in this session, we built the Adidas ad generator where we generated the text, image, and audio together and merged them using Canva to generate a good video out of it. Okay. And in the next module, now we are going to start RAG. We'll also look at why RAG and everything in detail about RAG from scratch. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. And if you want me to improve anything or if you have any questions, don't forget to write that in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this. See you all in the next video.